Hey there YouTube, how's it going? Darth Wingnut here, and this evening I think I'm going to play a little bit of Pinball Arcade again. Played a little bit of this previously, and I tackled the Next Generation table, Star Trek The Next Generation actually. And I think tonight I'm going to do a little bit more of a I don't know if it's necessarily a more or less traditional table, but it's one that I remember seeing actually in my college days on campus. Literally the one that just started up here, Attack from Mars. It's got a little bit of a sort of like that 1960s vibe to it with the way that things are presented. It's just it's lots of fun. We'll kick it off here. Actually, there's a way to click this without clicking it. There we go. So yeah, Attack from Mars. Basically, you are trying to repel the Martian attack on Earth, which I suppose should be vaguely obvious, but maybe not. But you know, whatever the title, right? Yeah, so, wow, that was really bad, actually. So maybe I'll just do a little bit of commentary on the side. Now, normally with this style of gameplay, especially for Pinball Arcade, since I'm just so at it, I'm going to run a few runs of the table, because that way it gets a little bit more of a feel for what type of table this is. Unlike the Next Generation table, which I played Oh, there we go, that's good. Unlike the Next Generation table, which I played previously, this table's a little bit heavier on the multi-ball, comparatively speaking. I found in some of my Next Generation runs that I would just get, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 extra balls lined up, versus this, where there's many opportunities to get yourself a multi-ball going. So the objective here in this table, I'm holding the ball just to explain this really quickly, is this saucer in the middle. You're supposed to attack it when those barriers go down and destroy the saucer. Now what I particularly like about this table is, I don't know, there's just something about, you know, not that I would, it brings up a whole bunch of thoughts in my mind about, like, oh, what if we actually had Martians come along or something, you know? No, I would never. Theoretical stuff aside, it's just kind of nifty. You bring down the shields here on the UFO at first, then you attack the saucer, and the saucers get progressively stronger, and I missed that shot. Oh, sorry, I'm just a little bit distracted because this is it's not the fastest table, but there's a bit of speed behind it, so it's kind of worth sort of paying attention to what I'm doing here. So, explaining sort of the table itself, there's ramps. There's 3 ramps on the left and 2 ramps on the right, and as you start hitting them, you get different things for them. The 3 on the left, there's one that's a lock system, which is pretty typical of a pinball table, where you hit the lock system so many times, and you know, you lock 3 balls, get a multi-ball. The other set of ramps enables sort of, I'm not going to say quick time events, because that's very console game-ish, but it enables sort of quick time events where that big center arrow just underneath the UFO lights up, and if you can snap a shot on that really quickly, you get a bunch of points. So I suppose that's the thing about pinball tables, right? You get it's just one of those things I sort of wonder about, where it's like, hey, speaking of those quick time events, there we go. I kind of like that line. You know, the Martians are straightening the Tower of Pisa. Like, it's so ridiculous, but it you know, this table's ridiculous, and that's part of the charm of it, you know. Ooh, I somehow snuck the ball in there. Oh boy, my thoughts are just tangenting. That's an instance where knowing how to tilt the table would have been really useful. I just found the tilt keys. That's why I tilted the table there. Yeah, so anyway, the ramps on the side, you get 3 shots of those in a row, and then you get the quick time event. And if you get all of them lit, you get a total annihilation multi-ball, which is 4 balls at once. Anyway, speaking of the lock system, I just hit the first lock there. I'm trying to think what else this table sort of features, because the UFO is obviously the most predominant portion of it. Oh, I just need to kick that up there just to be on the safe side. I'm trying to hit that little flashing segment just to the right of the UFO there, because there's as you can see it really clearly right now, what's flashing is an extra ball. So I'd really like to snipe that if I possibly can. So I'll try to point out parts of the table as I sort of get to them. But for the time being, maybe I'll answer a question or two, or at least points of interest I think that might be vaguely interesting. For example, the name Darth Wingnut. I don't think I've covered this in a... Okay, we got a Martian attack. I'll cover that in a sec. Martian attack, those guys that are hopping up and down, you gotta hit them. So if you hit them, you get a Martian multi-ball. Oh, and I've hit 3 of them already. Oh no, wait, I've only hit 2 of them. If you can hit all of them... Ooh, oh... Ooh, and I got extra ball based on points. So that's a pretty common theme in pinball tables as well. Ooh, and I just got the Martian multi-ball. It's only a 2-ball multi-ball, but every time you hit a Martian... Oh, that's sweet too. So I've got 2 extra balls sitting in the queue. Wow, really skillful. So now the Martian multi-ball, you hit those little green guys, and in the real table too, because this is a realistic simulation of the tables it represents. I actually remember those guys jumping up and down, but they would break a lot. Like, they would be active, but they wouldn't be hopping, because I think it's a fairly complex mechanic, or mechanical piece in there. Ooh, I just saved that. Nudging is something I got to get into. Let's see what else we can do here. Yeah, so you're basically saving different... You're saving different countries from the UFO attack. It's kind of like an Independence Day almost, except more... I want to kind of say... I don't know if Independence Day was campy per se or not, but, you know, this table has sort of a, you know... it has sort of a campy feel to it, to be honest. At least I think so. But yeah, the whole idea is kind of like Independence Day, where you got to save all the countries. And actually, I'm doing okay. Good. I'm doing pretty good here. Video mode. The Star Trek table had something like this with the holodeck, where you use your flippers to play on sort of the LCD screen, and this is kind of like a oh, what's that game where the guys go backwards and forth? It's such a classic. Why am I not able to remember it? It's not Galaga, is it? I don't think it's Galaga. Oh, someone will correct me on it, I'm sure. Yes, let's get another Martian multi-ball going here. Oh boy. Got to get those last 2 on the left. That's the one thing about doing commentation over a game that is constantly in motion versus, say, a simpler game like say the Isaac videos that I'm working on. The Isaac ones give you a moment to think. These pinball table ones are very, very difficult to kind of sit back and think while you're doing the commentating, because you're trying to react to things so fast. So I comment on the gameplay a lot. The one thing I really like about this table as well... Okay, we saved Germany there. One of the things I like about this table is that partly it's liberal with the multi-balls. Ooh, I got a goal achievement. That's cool. It's liberal with the multi-balls. Also, I find that even though I really like the Star Trek table... Oh, okay, there, that one goes. I find that there's a lot of cheap ways to lose balls in the Why don't I just say that with a little bit more enunciation? Balls. But losing that was a good one, actually. Losing balls on the right-hand side of that table. I'm so focused on trying to make this shot. It shouldn't be that hard. There we go. Yeah, there was that right-hand channel in the previous video, like on the right-hand side, where the ball would just kind of sink quite often. This table, ooh, I saved that without even a nudge. But it feels very fair, and the shooting again sort of thing. Oh, there goes that. Where if you drop a ball too early, it seems to be quite a lengthy period of time, which makes this table quite user-friendly, or player-friendly, I guess. So it's one of my favorites for that particular reason. Oh, I've got to destroy Mars. So I've almost actually completed this table while going on this little discussion. So the final one, you've got to make shots on the UFO into the back there. And you can see Mars is being eaten up, so to speak, by our shots. Actually, we're doing really well on this table. Like, despite the fact that the first two balls were kind of duds. Oh, speaking of cheap right-hand ramps, that wasn't all that cheap. I've got one more extra ball too, so it's okay. I might actually beat this table. If not, maybe we'll give it another shot. I guess it depends. We're about 11 minutes in, so we'll see. There's another shot. I wonder if I can actually make this, because like to get this on the first try on a YouTube video is, I'm sure people do it all the time. It's just that'd be really, really impressive. It'd even impress me, and you know, you're always your own largest critic, right? So the name Darth Wingnut, I know I started that tangent. It's actually a rather sarcastic name because, you know, when you game online, you see people like, you know, like to smoke big weed 420 or, you know, killer guy or, you know, big man on campus or something ridiculous like that. And I was like, you know what? I should make a sarcastic username, you know, something that sounds evil in the first section and absolutely ridiculous on the second. And I was like, you know, Darth is something that's, you know, there we go. I just did a nudge to save it there. Darth is something that, you know, it's sort of overused. And Wingnut is something just so not associated with... it's just not associated with anything particularly fiendish or evil, you know? So, yeah, the username is very sarcastic. I've had other usernames that I think are more clever, but, you know, when I game online, this is what I do. This is the username I usually take. All right, we're nailing these shots here. Like this is we might get this. Oh, what would be ridiculous if I ended up with one shot left. There we go.
Can't we just be friends?
There we go. We've destroyed Mars. Now, unlike a lot of other pinball tables, when you've cleared the final objective, it'll reset. So, you know, there's another table I'll be playing called Tales of Arabian Nights. And, like, once you, that one's a sort of, I'm not going to spoil too much about it. It plays, I don't want to say it plays on a popular Disney movie, because the Disney movie, oh, there we go. The Disney movie probably took its influence from there, right? So... but anyway, when you clear the table, you get to replay the whole table. And in this one, you don't get to replay the whole table. Ooh, I got the high score, I suppose. So like the gates don't come back up, you don't re-rescue things. The gates stay down after you destroy Mars. But in other tables, that usually resets. So, you know, I find that more interesting with the reset rather than this, where it's just like, well, now what do? Just go for points? But no, this one's a really fun table, and if you do get Pinball Arcade, it's definitely something I'd put on the recommended list as far as individual tables to potentially purchase. Let's just go blank here. Oh, I got to use my mouse for this. That's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, 35 Martians destroyed, and it doesn't really matter because the table's free, but matching on the number like classic pinball tables. Wow, that's really good. That's insanely good. At least for me, it's insanely good. Great. Anyway, I think that'll do it for our episode tonight. Thank you very much for joining us on this winning, quote-unquote, winning run of Attack from Mars. It'll probably show up a few more times as we go through it. And yeah, have yourselves a good evening. Later.